Hey, what is going on YouTube? This is Tylord and I am finally back with a new Let's Play World of Warcraft Project Ascension. So here I am on the character creation screen. I'm just about to get started, but I just wanted to go over a quick few things with you. So obviously, like I said in my last video, I was going to make an undead character, and this is clearly him. I love this blown back hairstyle on both sides. It looks pretty funny. He doesn't have any eyeballs, so he is clearly very zombie-like. So this is the Undead. You can remove Fear, Sleep, and Charm. That's one of our racials. May consume corpses to regain health. That's another one. Cannibalize. The first one is Will of the Forsaken. Underwater breathing is increased, I believe, by like three times or 10 times. It's a lot. You have a long time to breathe underwater. And we have an added resistance to shadow damage. So instead of, you can clearly see here, you cannot pick a class. You have the races laid out for you, Alliance and Horde, 4 from each. But you cannot pick any classes. Can't pick Priest or Rogue or Warlock or Mage or any of the other classes that normally you can as Undead. Instead, you are left being a hero, which the roles are Tank, Healer, Damage, Support, or Other. Versatile Armor, any armor type. Versatile Weaponry, any weapon type. Versatile, can fill a healing, tanking, melee, or caster role. Can learn any ability in their level range, 1 for every 2 levels. Can unlearn all of their past training and recreate their styles. Can assign points into strength, agility, intelligence, spirit, or stamina at will. For the true hero, there are no limits, no boundaries. The true hero creates their own destinies, be it weavers of the magical disciplines, masters of blades and bows, defenders of their own beliefs, a jack of trades. The world is treacherous, however. It can be hard to trust anyone. It will take a true hero to shape the world. So let's go ahead and create this character here. And let me go into the add-ons really quick just to show you guys what I have. I do have X-Pro, but it's not enabled. I do have it disabled for now because this server has its own unit frame sort of customized. So right now I just have Arcud Atlas Loot, which I don't know if I'm going to be running any dungeons, but I have Atlas Loot enabled anyhow on all my characters. Dominoes is disabled for now. That's a bar add-on. Omni CC, which counts cooldowns. Recount, which will recount our damage, obviously, to damage meter. And then Ascension has its own 3 add-ons. The Ascension AIO, which allows sending add-ons from server to client and allows client-server communication. Ascension Resources, an add-on that comes with the patches in order to display the energy and rage of players. Because, spoiler, along with health and mana, we also get energy and rage. And then Ascension Resources for using with custom UI. Add-on that comes with patches, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we have all that we need. Let's go ahead and start this up, and I'm going to shut up while the Undead cinematic plays.
Bound to the iron will of the tyrant Lich King, the vast undead armies of the Scourge seek to eradicate all life on Azeroth. Led by the Banshee Sylvanas Windrunner, a group of renegades broke away from the Scourge and freed themselves of the Lich King's domination. Known by some as the Forsaken, this group fights a constant battle, not only to retain its freedom from the Scourge, but also to slaughter those who would hunt them as monsters. With Sylvanas as their Banshee Queen, the Forsaken have built a dark stronghold beneath the ruins of Lordaeron's former capital city. This hidden undercity forms a sprawling labyrinth that stretches beneath the haunted woods of the Tirisfal Glades. Though the very land is cursed, the zealous humans of the Scarlet Crusade still cling to their scattered holdings, obsessed with eradicating the undead and retaking their homeland. Convinced that the primitive races of the Horde can help them achieve victory over their enemies, the Forsaken have entered an alliance of convenience. Harboring no true loyalty for their new allies, they will go to any lengths to ensure their dark plans come to fruition. As one of the Forsaken, you must massacre any who pose a threat to the new order, human, undead, or otherwise.
Alrighty guys, so here we are with Undertaker Mordo, the starting NPC who greets us here as we awaken from our deep slumber. So let me just fix a couple quick little interface things that I want to adjust. Display, let's do cinematic subtitles, sure, why not. Rotate minimap. The vanilla way is to rotate, this isn't in the old vanilla WoW Let's Play if you guys are watching. So this is how it is in vanilla. The little character tracker moves and not the minimap, but I prefer it that the minimap rotates. I like that much better. And let's get some action bars because I don't have... You can never have enough action bars. Alright, that's okay with me for now. This is our little energy and rage meter. And like I said, this is the semi-customized unit frame. So we have the little dragon around our portrait. And we also have, this is our rage meter here. It's at 0 right now. And this is our energy meter right here below the mana pool, which is at 100 for now. There is also a couple things I should probably do in unit frames. Or is it names? No, it should be in unit frames. It should be large focus frame. No, I don't think that's it. It should be something about enemies, showing enemies. And I know that's a thing. Action bars. Display. It should be... Oh boy, I don't know. Target of target. That should be on. Always. Okay, maybe it'll pop up when I'm actually attacking someone. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this quest started. Rude Awakening. So Undertaker Mordo says a bunch of bullshit, and he's like, "All right, now go talk to Shadow Priest Sarvis. He's in the main town." So we are in the Shadow Grave right now, which is where all the undead, I guess, become reanimated and rise again and become alive. And here we are. In Death Knell is the starting zone for the undead. My all-time favorite class. As I'm running down to go ahead and talk with Shadow Priest Sarvis, let me just go over a few quick things I'll probably be talking about throughout this episode about the realm. So like I've said before, this is called Project Ascension. It's essentially running on a slightly modified Wrath of the Lich King client, but it's set for the most part to vanilla gameplay. Vanilla-like gameplay. So level capped is at 60 instead of 70, 80. 80 is Wrath of the Lich King, yeah. So instead of 80, it's set 70. So let's go ahead and turn this quest in, and he will give us the follow-up. The mindless ones, which we have to kill 5 mindless zombies and 5 wretched ghouls. So if you check your bag and your character, immediately you'll notice you have a 2-handed sword as your main weapon that is equipped. You also have a worn short bow with some ammo and an old blunderbuss with some ammo. So if you prefer guns, you can use guns from the get-go. If you prefer bows, which I prefer bows, you can have bows from the get-go, which let's go ahead and equip that for now. And you also have a one-handed sword and a shield, or a dagger if you prefer daggers, or a bent staff if you prefer staves for whatever reason. So let's go ahead and start killing some of these mindless zombies. Now you want to be careful, as always, pulling mobs because these death guards, if you get attacked while you are near death guard, they will steal your kill and you won't get credit for the kill. So let me go over what some of these abilities are, because you might be wondering now, what the hell do we have here? So here is an ability called Strike. Now all these are Project Ascension custom abilities. These aren't abilities that are found in normal World of Warcraft in any of the expansions, I don't believe. So the first we have here is Strike, which is a melee attack. Costs 15 rage to use, much like Heroic Strike. And it is an instant strike that causes 18 damage and has a 2-second cooldown. So this is essentially a rage dump. If you sort of spec or build if you build a build that utilizes a lot of melee attacks, but you don't have a lot of warrior abilities, you will have a lot of rage. You'll probably be at 100% for the most part. And you can always use Strike as a rage dump. But again, at higher levels, it's kind of useless because it's like only dealing 18 damage. So it's like, okay, well, I don't even want to waste my rage on this shitty ability that does 18 damage when all of my other abilities deal probably like 100, 200 damage, you know, at a time. But at level 1 through 5, I mean, strikes are good enough. Same goes for quick shot. Now, quick shot is an ability that it's a ranged attack. And this costs energy to use, 30 energy. So it's an instant shot that causes 13 physical damage. And you'll notice when you go to attack an NPC at this level, you don't have auto shoot. So like I use quick shot, but I can't auto shoot. And that's because auto shoot is an ability that we can get using an ability essence, and I will go into those shortly. Rounding off the rest of these custom abilities is Arcane Bolt, which is a spell, costs 4 mana. Hey buddy, thanks for the help, Death Guard Philip. Costs 4 mana, and that scales with your level, obviously. Has a 1.5 second cast, and it hurls an Arcane Bolt that deals 13 to 18 arcane damage. This, however, does not scale with spell power and is not affected by haste. So essentially, these 3 spells are useful to you when you first start out the game, but afterwards, I mean, they're pretty much useless after like level 5 even. I mean, because by level 6 or 8, you'll have enough abilities that you won't need any of these. But you can always use strike as a rage dump, I'd say. You will also notice if you go into skills before I get into all this shit, we have every single class skill available to us from all the classes. And then we have all the weapon skills: axes, bows, crossbows, daggers, defense, obviously, and everyone always has defense, guns, maces, polearms, swords, thrown, two-handed axes, two-handed maces, two-handed swords, unarmed, and wands. So we have every weapon type available to us. We just have to train it up, skill it up as we level up and go along. So we did ding, by the way. We've reached level 2. So we've gained strength and intellect, which is all right with me, and we also received an ability essence. So let's get into this right here. This is for new players, if you guys don't know. In the meantime, I'm going to be killing some wretched ghouls, just so I'm not standing here talking the entire episode. Welcome to Ascension, hero. It seems like you have enough ability essence to make your first choice. Choose a spell from any class you desire and begin your ascent to glory. So click the character advancement button, which is down here. Now you will only see this open character upgrades if you have the Ascension specific add-ons that I discussed before I entered the world with this character. So let's go ahead and click that and go to character advancements, like he said. Now it is time to choose your path. Spend some of your ability essence to learn a few new spells. Click on any specialization you like, and then click on the left side of character advancement. So as you can see, Balance Druid, Feral Druid, Resto Druid. If you go to the left side, this is spells and abilities. If you go to the right side, these are talents, which is obviously locked until level 10. But once we reach 10, we can go ahead and put some points into there. So the path to glory has many twists and turns, hero. It is time to decide how yours will begin. Here we have a list of powerful abilities corresponding with your chosen spec. Simply click on Learn button on the Learn button, and I shall grant you knowledge of that particular spell. Now let's go ahead and start off in the Demonology Warlock, section, and not Demon Skin. I mean, Demon Skin's alright, but obviously we're going for Summon Imp. So let's go ahead and learn that right off the bat. And bam! Now we have the ability, the spell, Summon Imp. Expertly done. You merely need to follow these same steps anytime you wish to learn new spells, provided you have sufficient ability essence. Bear in mind that you've granted an ability essence. You are granted one every time you reach a new level. Decide wisely, my friend. Let the adventures begin. Now, before we close this off, let's go ahead and let's go over this little Project Ascension custom UI that they've built here. So the first section we have right here is stat allocation. Now, every time you level up, and when you start the game, you have 5 stat points. And every time you level up, depending on what level bracket you're in, between 1 and 10, you will get 1 stat point every level up. Between 10 and 20, you get 2. 30 and 40 is 3, I believe. And then 40 and 50 might be 4 or 5. I think I'm getting 5 every level up on my main character. So it depends on what level bracket you're in. But just know that every time you level up, you do get stat points. So let's go ahead and start putting some in. We can pretty much just dump them into stamina at this point, and maybe a couple into intellect if you want that into intellect. Now I've already gone over what character advancement is. So we have every single spec from every single class here: Druid, Hunter, Mage, Paladin, Priest, Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, and Warrior. And we also have this General tab, which obviously there aren't general talents, so you can't click on the talent side. But there are 2 different general abilities we can learn. Spell Mastery, which will increase our spell haste by 20% when we have a staff or a caster offhand is equipped. And the other is Dual Wielding, which they both cost 1 ability essence. Actually, this one costs 2, excuse me. But obviously we don't want those right now. But just so you know, when you start off a new character at level 1, you can go ahead and buy this dual wield if you want. That just means at level 2 you won't be able to buy anything else, because pretty much every other spell costs 2. Obviously spells you can't learn will say it requires this level, but spells you can learn, like Holy Light, costs 2 ability essence, Seal of Righteousness costs 2. So pretty much every single spell and ability costs 2. And since you only gain 1 ability essence per level, it will be every 2 levels that you can learn a new ability. So let's go ahead and summon Imp here. I guess I could have done that the entire time I'm talking. And the third and final section of this project Ascension custom UI is the reset spells and talents. Now, since we are level 1, located within levels 1 and 10, we can reset our spells for free anytime we'd like. Just click reset spells, and yes, and because we are under level 10, the resets are completely free. Past 10, we only have 3 ability resets and 3 talent resets, and after that you probably have to buy some. I haven't used these at all on my main character, so I don't know what happens once you run out, but I assume that guy just leveled up, that you would need to either like pay with gold or some other method of resetting your spells and abilities. So why did I pick Summon Imp at level 2? That is a great question, and I will answer that by saying I'll answer that with another question. Why not? No, but in all seriousness, Summon Imp is probably one of the most I would say the highest DPS picks at level 2. Imp does a lot of damage in these early levels, and is very beneficial to have. Other popular choices in the combat rogue tree, we have Sinister Strike here. That's always a good pick, because you can spam that. Since we have energy along with mana and rage, you can always spam Sinister Strike, build up rage, and then dump your rage into warrior abilities once we reach level 4, you know, so on and so forth. It's pretty much however style you want to play. Say you want to play like a spellcaster hunter hybrid, you can definitely do that on this realm. You want to play a shadow priest warrior, you can definitely do that on this realm. It's really fun. Just so you guys know, we're gonna have a grand old time playing this game together. So let's go ahead and turn that quest in and pick up some follow-ups. We got 2 here: rattling the rattle cages, so we have to kill 8 rattle cage skeletons, and the damned. Collect 6 scavenger paws and 6 dusk bat wings, excuse me. And since we can save this, since we are able to use any type of armor at this level, we can use cloth, leather, mail, and plate, even though there aren't any pieces of armor that are plate at this low level. We can go ahead and keep this and use it once we hit level 4. The feeble sword is pretty good. Let's save that and save the large bent shield once we ding to level 4, which will probably be this episode. I'll probably play until I hit 4. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and run out here and start killing some of these required scavengers and dusk bats. Here's one right here. So I have Summon Imp, so my Imp will be dealing damage, and I will also be attacking targets, obviously. I mean, you guys know how to play World of Warcraft. I don't have to explain that to you. Do I? No, I don't think I have to. Now it's funny because Sinister Strike. A lot of this episode, I'll probably be checking out all these different abilities we can potentially get once we start playing. Once we start leveling up. But Sinister Strike was nerfed a little bit. It used to be super powerful, like crazy powerful, because it's an instant strike that causes 3 damage in addition to your normal weapon damage. Now, if you have a one-handed weapon, it is 100% of your normal weapon damage plus 3. And before this obviously now has a two-handed weapon penalty, so it's only 80% of your two-handed weapon damage. But before that, it was 100% of all weapon damage, including two-handers. So obviously, everyone and their mom who played on this realm would pick Sinister Strike with a two-handed weapon, and it would just cause insane amounts of damage. Because I don't think any other ability, any other melee ability is weapon damage plus damage with two-handed weapons. So that's why everyone was like, hell yeah, get that Sinister Strike, boy, it's so powerful. But then they nerfed it, and so now everyone's like, oh, okay, well, what else what else can we pick? I mean, yeah. So this game, a lot of min-maxing that will happen in-game with this game, as it was, as it always is with World of Warcraft, but especially this game, because you have access to every single spell and ability from all classes. So, there's a lot of opportunity for experimentation in this game, for sure, 100%. So every time we get a new piece of armor, you definitely want to check if you can equip it pretty much immediately, because it'll probably be better than what you have right now. So as I said before, Summon Imp, he's just carrying me so hard. Every 2 seconds deals 6 to 9 damage, and I'm over here swinging my sword for like 1.4 damage per second, and he's pulling 3 to 4.5 DPS. So he's definitely out DPSing me. I even have a macro here, a general macro setup for recount. This is what I made on my main character before. So let's go ahead and check out the damage being done here. Yeah, I actually do have more quickshot damage than he does firebolt, but he'll probably overtake me pretty soon, which is funny. So there are definitely tons and tons of, well, I shouldn't say tons and tons, but there is definitely at least one YouTube video that I've watched that people have made about this server, that they talk about all the different kinds of builds that they've experimented with and tried playing, and one popular one that now is I don't know if it still is popular, but it was called Frosty Paws, and it was essentially Feral Druid, but with Wind Fury weapon. So you dual wield and you have Wind Fury weapon on both weapons, and then you go into cat form, so as a Feral Druid, and you get a proc chance off both weapons, even in cat form, as a druid. And so the proc chance was actually pretty high. They might have nerfed it a little, because it might have been a bug where it was procking at a much higher level than normal, so it might have been nerfed, but if it hasn't been nerfed, that's still a really strong build, because it's Frostband weapon, not Wind Fury weapon, excuse me, Frostband weapon. And it procs a lot, deals a lot of damage, and it also slows the target, which is good. So let's just go ahead and delete some items there to make room for all this inventory. We did level up to 3. I did see that. I didn't miss it, so don't worry, guys. I will go ahead and go into stat allocation, and we did get 1 point. So let's just dump it into stamina, because at this low level, at this point in the game, like one extra int or one extra strength won't really do anything for us at this point. Later on we can always go back and change it, because if you guys have noticed, you can decrease and increase at any time you please. My mouse is bugging out a little bit. I don't know why that's doing that. But if you're unsure what these stats do, You can go ahead and read them at any point. So strength increases attack power and is the most important stat for plate armor wearing classes in the damage dealing or tank role. Strength also converts into parry. Stamina is a source of all health. Most armor has stamina on it, and all classes and specs wear armor with stamina on it, but tanks generally have the most. Agility. Agility increases melee and ranged attack power and is the most important stat for leather armor and mail armor wearing classes in the damage dealing or tank role. And intellect increases spell crit chance amount of mana and is the most important stat for mana using classes wearing any armor type in the damage dealing or healer role. And spirit is the healer only stat and increases a mana regen. And as you noticed, since we did level up, we did gain one ability essence, but since we only have one, we have no use for it. We can't use it unless I wanted to, you know, get dual wield or something, but I don't want to get dual wield, so I'm not going to. I found the source of trouble, guys. There was a little dog hair stuck to the bottom of my mouse, and it was causing all sorts of problems for the optical sensor. And if you guys have noticed, let's go ahead and check out recount here. Oh, my imp has overtaken me for damage done. Isn't that crazy? So if you guys needed any more proof, my imp deals more damage than I do at level 3. One thing I can do is equip my new sword. Let's go ahead and equip my sword there. And my bent large shield. Oh my gosh. Please, no more. No more dog hair on my mouse, guys. This is ridiculous. There we go. 6 out of 6. We did it. We can also equip some flimsy chain boots because it's better than what I got. And a cracked short bow because, you guessed it, it's better than what I got. So we do have to kill a whole shit ton of rattle cage skeletons. So at this point in the episode, I think to consume time, to conserve time, I'm going to cut away here, finish killing all 8 of these spoopy little skeletons, and then I'll meet you guys back at Shadow Priest Service in Death Knell. So I will see you guys over there. Alrighty, guys, so we are back here. Let's go ahead and run in and talk to Mr. Blacksmith Rand here and just sell all this useless crap that we have in our bags, and then we can go ahead. Oh, I guess I wanted to keep those, right? Didn't I say I wanted to keep those? Yeah. Gives me a little more armor than what I have on now, so we might as well. Having more armor is obviously better than having less armor, and that's just a true fact of life here, people. I mean, nowhere else on YouTube will you find a Let's Player as wise and deep and thoughtful as I when it comes to life lessons about World of Warcraft on the private server project Ascension. Let's go ahead and turn in this quest of rattling the rattle cages. And like always, I mean, it's common sense. More armor is always better than less armor. So at this point in the game, whenever you have a choice between armor, a piece of armor, always get the one that has more armor. Now obviously we don't have any bracers and we don't have any belts equipped, so let's go ahead and pick the belt because you guessed it, it has more armor. Oh Lord. Okay, beautiful. Alright, so now that we turned those 2 quests in, a bunch more open up for us, so let's go ahead and pick some of these up, and we can probably do 1 or 2 of these. I don't think I'll do Nightweb's Hollow yet this episode, but we can do Scavenging Death Knell and Marla's Last Wish for sure. Let's go ahead and do Scavenging Death Knell really quickly. Wait, we want to run around and loot all of these equipment boxes here, and we need 6 of them. And they're pretty easy to find. Just come in here. None of these mobs are aggro. They're all neutral, so they won't attack you unless you attack them first, which is easy peasy when it comes to quests as such, where you have to run around collecting a bunch of boxes. We also have a battered chest in here. Let's go ahead and open it up. And we got some burnt leather breeches, guys. Hell yeah, our first piece of loot in game that has any stats on it, plus 1 agi. Alright, that's not bad. We also got a copper ore, which might come in handy later, I guess, if we want to, I don't know, go into engineering or blacksmithing. I definitely don't want to do blacksmithing. I've done a lot of blacksmithing in my days on my Let's Plays, and it's garbage. So I'm gonna stick away from blacksmithing. Yeah, I think I did blacksmithing on both Miltank in my very first Let's Play, and also on my Night Elf Warrior in my Season 2 of Vanilla Let's Play. So I'm kind of burnt out on blacksmithing, for sure. So let's go ahead and talk to this dude. Actually, no, you know what? I did leatherworking on Miltank. That's right, because I was a shaman. Stop moving! Stand still. Stand in one place. Let's go ahead and turn this quest in. The 6 scavenged equipment boxes, and let's pick up the rust metal bracers because, and you heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. I fucked that up. I completely fucked that up. I went for the rust metal bracers, not knowing that I already had the warrior's bracers in my bag, and now I feel like a complete fool. I made a complete fool of myself. So we turn that quest in, and ding dong, the witch is dead, and we've also leveled up to level 4. So let's go ahead and put another point of stat into stamina, because why not? And we've hit 4, which means we've gained a second ability essence. 2 out of 2. We can go ahead and pick up any spell we want that is within our level range. Obviously, we can't get things like Thorns or fucking Cyclone because that requires level 70, and we can't even get that even if we were 60 because it requires 70 and we'd be 60. I think before I went for Frostbolt, and I think Frostbolt's pretty good at this level, so let's go ahead and pick that up again. And at this point we can just, yeah, we already have two pieces of 2 points, not pieces, 2 points in intellect. Let's keep that there, and we can go ahead and we can dump Arcane Bolt at this point, and probably even Quick Shot, but I'll keep it just in case. The quest I want now to do is Marla's Last Wish, and then I'll probably call it an episode. Just because it's probably a long one, guys. I've been talking for a while. So, as you can see here, Frostbolt really helps when you have a pet imp because it slows the target down considerably, while your imp will just be blasting the dude in the face with a firebolt. At level 4, our imp also learned Blood Pact, rank 1, which increases party and raid members' health by 20. Otherwise, increasing our stamina by 2, but I guess with Blood Pact it's not stam, it's health. So just I think it's health, so that it can stack with power word Fortitude, because otherwise I don't think it would stack with Fortitude. I think one would replace the other, so they made it increase your overall health so that it would stack with Fortitude when you run dungeons with priests for whatever reason. So let's go ahead. We don't have to kill all these guys, but I wanted to anyway. Daniel Elfman. A little reference to Danny Elfman, who is a very famous musical composer for films. And we got our second piece of burnt leather breeches. Man, they really like these. They really like giving out these burnt leather breeches. I mean, I guess what's not to like? They're burnt, and they're leather. They're burnt leather. I mean, they must smell good all the time. So we do have a piece of light leather, and we also have a copper ore, but you know. It doesn't really matter at this point. So I'm going to run back, turn this quest in. Yeah, so like I was saying, we didn't have to kill all those dudes in that little graveyard area. Just Samuel Phipp, but we killed them all anyway just because it's good XP, guys. It's good XP. So at level 4, our imp knows Firebolt and Blood Pact. Eventually it'll learn things like Phase Shift, and I think there is one more thing that it learns, but Fire Shield. It learns Fire Shield, that's for sure. So this is Marla's grave, and she wishes to be buried with Samuel. So we want to kill Samuel because he was reanimated, and then bury his remains in Marla's grave for whatever reason, because that was her last wish. You have done a good deed today, Ty Lord. Although our struggle against the Scourge continues, let us hope that Marla and Samuel will find peace together in their final resting place. So that's going to be it, guys. I'm going to run over and just sell all this junk. I'll probably keep these. I'll sell one. but I'll keep the other. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Keep the copper ore too. That's valuable. That is, these are real valuable pieces of loot, guys. You don't want to sell these. You want to keep these. So at level 4, you should have in total 4 ability essences to spend however you like. And just to show you guys how this little reset works, if we wanted to reset all our spells, all you have to do is press, before I do that, let me show you guys my spell book. Now, something interesting of note, when we don't have any spells learned, which I guess we can go ahead and reset all our spells, it will take away those class specs out of our spell book. But if we go ahead and go back into character advancement and let's say, oh, well, I don't really want to be a caster and I don't want an imp as a pet, let's go ahead and pick up, I don't know, Battle Shout? No, I don't really want Battle Shout. Let's go pick up Sinister Strike, because he was talking about how good it is. Let's go ahead and pick that up. And something that might also go good with that is Seal of Righteousness, because that will increase our damage done for each melee attack. It will give us +1 additional holy damage. So let's try that out. So we have +1 holy damage with each melee strike, and we also have this ability, Sinister Strike. And see how fast that guy died? Wow. Well, he's level 1. That is pretty easy. Let's try level 2. Let's try level 2. See how fast this guy dies. So along with Sinister Strike, which is dealing a good amount of damage, we also have regular old strike that we can use as a rage dump. So let's go ahead and do that. When they're not dodging all my GD abilities, holy cow. So yeah, these guys are dying pretty fast. That's interesting, huh? That's something to keep in mind. Well, I'm kind of bored with this build already. Let's go ahead and reset this and get all new spells to try out. And you can totally do that, because between level 1 and 10, you get free resets. So I would suggest before you hit 10 at level 9, go through and try any sorts of numbers of combinations of spells and abilities that seem pretty good to you. In conjunction with each other. So level 9, you should have obviously 9 ability essences. That would mean you can pick between 4 abilities or spells at any given point in time, and that's pretty good. And just so you guys know, if you do want to be sort of a hunter type build, because as I've shown before, you don't have an auto shoot ability. You can only quick shoot. And then you can actually go into your spellbook and get regular old shoot, but both of those are on a timed cooldown, and I'll show you guys what that means right here. So we can go ahead and do a quick shot and also shoot at the same time, but then we can't shoot again because it's on cooldown, and that's kind of lame. So if you do want to go for a hunter type build, I would suggest going into the marksmanship tree here. Go to the spells, not the talent tree, but the spell tree, and you can get auto shoot right here. It says it requires level 10, but I don't, unless they've changed that within the last day, I don't think that's right. Auto shoot shouldn't require any level. It should just be automatic at level 1. That's strange. Anyway, let's go ahead and try G. I don't know. Well, we can't get anything in Feral Druid until level 10 anyway, but at level 10 we could totally get Bear Form, along with some other bear abilities, and level as a Feral Druid if we wanted to. Let's go ahead and get Moonfire, and what's also another instant cast spell. I don't know, let's go into Enhancement, or Elemental I should say, and get Earth Shock. Okay, so let's go for a build that's kind of like instant cast spells. So we can go ahead and Moonfire and Earth Shock, and keep Moonfiring until Earth Shock is off its cooldown. Add in there a number of other spells from maybe Warlock. Let's see here, reset spells. Yes, let's reset some spells. Let's go into Shadow Priest here and pick up Shadow Word Pain, and we can also go into Affliction Warlock. And if you want to be a dot weaver, a dot master, you can totally do that. Just cast a bunch of dots. We got Shadow Word Pain here, we got Corruption, and then we just wait for them to die slowly. Very slowly at this level, but at level 20, I mean, you can have your pick of the litter with all these different dots. So really, guys, the sky's the limit when it comes to this realm. It's super fun, and like I said 5 minutes ago, this is going to be the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching me. as I go through this new Let's Play, I will definitely be trying out a whole bunch of different slew of builds, and you guys can experience that with me. Definitely write in comments. Comments are always welcome. Shout out what kind of build you want to see me do. Popular ones I've seen are like a Shadowcaster Hunter build, or like a Shadow Warrior build, or the Frosty Paws build that I talked about earlier. But once I hit level 10, things get a little tricky when it comes to resets, because those are no longer free. So we'll just have to stick to a build for a while, and maybe 10 or 15 levels later, if I'm not digging it, or I want to change it up a little bit, it'll cost me some gold or some silver, and that's not really a problem. So definitely give me any comments or suggestions of builds you want to see in the future. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, until next time, whoa, where am I? I'm right here. I hope y'all stay classy, and peace out.